Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you, talking to you about you and your business. As usual, I have a lot to cover, so I'm going to jump straight into it. Do want to mention, though, Congressman Tom DeLay, I know I mentioned last week was going to be on the program, unfortunately, unable to join us today because of health reasons, but we're going to get him scheduled ASAP and looking forward to getting the former congressman on the program. But in that same vein, we're going to talk a little bit about political leadership and the lack of with Tom Taormina, and he is with a great website called itwasrocketscience.com, and he has a consulting firm that is doing phenomenal work, and we love having him on the program. How are you, Tom?
Top of the morning, Kevin. Doing great. How are you?
I'm awesome, as usual. And tell us real quickly about your firm before we talk about our topic.
Well, thank you. We try to help companies be the best they can be, especially in the areas of growing businesses that are best in class. That's all I'm interested in. And also helping you stay out of liability issues, sending out every product and having every customer absolutely delighted with your company.
What a novel idea is that, huh?
Well, I'm telling you.
It's an idea whose time it should have already come long before now. So you sent me a sobering email about our topic, about the problem of leadership. Let's jump right straight into that.
Indeed. You know, the midterm election's coming up in a week, as everyone knows, and I hope we're not in a malaise or saying, gee, we don't need to get out and vote. Please, I don't care who you vote for, but get out there and make your opinion count somewhere, because look at Washington today. I'm just going to be brutally blunt. Matter of fact, I met General Abizaid not too long ago, and I said, what happened to leadership in Washington? And he said, I retired. And, that kind of puts it all in perspective.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got a group there that believes that the Constitution is a bunch of suggestions, and we've got, well, let's not even go there, but the topic of leadership is that leaders form an environment where the people around them want to do great things. That's the definition of leadership. I've been working with companies like Dell Computer for years, and there still are leaders, and you can learn to be a leader. You just have to know what the basic rules are.
Yes, absolutely. So kind of give me some of the problems, the characteristics that you see that are so pervasive today when it comes to leaders.
Well, there seems to be a need again for a monarchy, not only in politics but in business. The people who run businesses these days are managers, not leaders. They try to manage the people around them and play them like puppets. So that's the first symptom of poor leadership, is where the people in charge are manipulators. They put out these traps for everyone and try to make the people do certain things. A leader creates an environment where he or she has told their people, here are my values, here's my vision of where we're going, here's the mission we're on, and as long as you're staying on that course, you have all the freedom to be creative, to make decisions, to get out there, and if you make a mistake, let's all sit down and say, we paid for this mistake, let's figure out what we did and move on. So, in a nutshell, that kind of encapsulates leadership.
Yeah, that's exactly right, absolutely, and it's so hard to find. What's your thoughts in terms of how do you restore that? How do you restore, get a paradigm shift, if you will? Well,
modeling is the only way. We need to find people who will delegate effectively, meaning that they give power to others unequivocally, again, within a set of rules. There's always a set of rules. But that giving power creates more power for the person giving it. I know that's kind of convoluted, but the more you delegate and the more people around you rise to the occasion and do wonderful work, the more powerful you are. And getting anyone to make that transition who's grown up in a command and control environment, who loves command and control, it's quite a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of reminds you, power tends to corrupt. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely. And the number of models is very small. I keep wanting to come back to government, but I can't find any. I can't find any good examples. I've been told straight out that Harry Reid has suspended the Constitution in the Senate. How do you respond to that? How do you overcome when the rules have been taken away? I just don't understand the transition. But then again, I've been working with Tesla lately, and goodness, Elon Musk has created an environment with some amazing people who just go 24/7 trying to create these amazing new businesses. Somebody needs to study Harry Reid and then compare it to Elon Musk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there's several now who were elected to Congress, I guess as early as 2010 in the Senate, who are saying they haven't voted on anything that was policy-related since they've been in the Senate.
Exactly.
Literally not voted on anything.
Is that pathetic or what?
Yeah, they haven't passed a budget in years. They haven't even tried to. Yeah, and so it's really incredible. You wonder. Part of my concern is that the Republicans are so milquetoast in a response, though. It's not like the Republicans are doing a lot to justify changing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You notice I didn't bring up any Republican leaders. I'm very, very disappointed that we don't have someone that just jumps out in the front of the stage and say, here I am, here's what I'm going to do. There's a couple that could, but the other state senator from Nevada I've known for quite a while, and he went to Washington with our mandate to turn all this around. And every time I see him, he says, well, they've created this political system in Washington over the last 200 years that's almost impenetrable. So what's it going to take? What's it going to take for a Republican to start behaving like a Republican?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, what's your hope, your expectation, in these elections? And will it make any difference? I'm pretty convinced that even if there was a huge Republican majority in the Senate, there's not enough political courage to discuss the possibility of impeachment. And if this president doesn't warrant impeachment, who in the world does?
Exactly. I don't think we'll ever see that. But at the same time, he's got a limited amount of time left in office, and he's screwing himself into the ground. So let him self-destruct, and let's get a Republican majority in there and begin to act as fiscal conservatives and begin to act as leaders again. Maybe somebody can put a picture of Reagan up everywhere on Capitol Hill, and let's begin it, because as you and I have talked about in the past, the takers are starting to outnumber the makers, and I think you said they already have, but we've just got to get people in there to begin to reverse the trend. And as you know, my passion is getting us to go somewhere again, like Mars or an asteroid. I don't care where we go. We need a national initiative that everybody can get behind. And whatever that is, I'm working diligently to see that we start doing that again.
Absolutely. No question about it. Tom Taormina, he is with the Taormina Consulting Group and the Taormina Group, and always delighted to have on the program. Love what you're bringing. Love the insight and knowledge you're bringing. And do want to mention that the best way to find him is at itwasrocketscience.com. I've read your book, love your book. I've talked about your book on the program, as well as with you on the program. And keep up the great work.
Thanks, Kevin. Great to be with you, as always.
You bet. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.